Here we go with Gravely building number 6. So let's see what we got going on with this one here. I'm Tom Kovichak, and this is Tom's Trains and Things. This channel was created to help other modelers who are in need of guidance in pursuing their dream of building a model railroad. And in this episode of the Gravely building, we're going to finish up painting on the walls. We're going to add a sign to the back wall, and I'm going to show you what's going on with weathering and working on the storefront. Now the storefront is going to be the next episode, and that's this little thing right here. And there are over 20 peel and stick pieces that go on this thing right here. So this is going to be a complete episode right after this one. So let's go see what we got going on this one here. Now that we primered all the pieces on both sides, as you can see here, I did an extra one. This is a scrap piece. And what we're going to do now is try some different color paints on here. But we're going to try some different colors, and I'm going to brush them on. Okay, and the reason I'm going to brush them on is this is not a new building. This is going to be an old building, and brushing it on is going to give you some variations in the texture and the color and everything. So we're going to start it off looking old, and then we're going to work on it by sanding some of it off and placing the signage on all the outside walls. So we're going to put some signs right here. Even though may not be able to see the back wall, I'm still going to put a sign on there. And there's a place right here for some signs, and this is the side wall right here. There's some place right here for some signage. There's a little bump out right here. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to test some different colors on here, and what I like to do is for the windows, I like to do the windows in like a white or a bright color so they'll stand out, and then the siding in a darker color. Or you could go just the opposite, but since I don't know where I'm going to place this yet, I'm going to keep the windows a light color. Alright, here's the colors that I'm going to try out. Here is a Barnwood. I like to use this. I've used this in a lot of different ones, and it looks like a washed out building to begin with. Okay, then there's tan, sage green, and greenscape. We're going to try these four here for the sides, and we're going to try these for the windows. It's antique white, warm white, and vintage white. I've used all of these before in different models, and they look pretty good. And some of them I even used the white as the building. And what I did with the white, before I put the white on, instead of primering the wood, I put a Indian ink and alcohol solution on, and then did the white, and then after that dried, went over with another alcohol and Indian ink, and it made it look very, very old to begin with. But that's going to go, I'm going to do that in another model after this one. But for this, I'm going to go with the tans and greens, try those out, and the whites for the windows. Since I'm just testing out the colors, all I did was shake them up and just left a little bit in the cap. Okay, and then I have some water here to rinse it out between the different colors. So the first one is the Barnwood, and I'm just going to put a little bit on there. And as you can see, on the first coat, you're still able to see some of the gray underneath there. And that's a good thing, because what we're going to do, we want it to show through a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to put the first two colors here and then the next two colors. Now I'm glad I'm recording this because I know which corner has what on it. That makes it a little bit easier. Okay, this next one is the driftwood. I'm just using a little bit on the brush, not a lot. It was a Bar Mills building, but you could see on some of these the gray primer still shows through, and that's the kind of effect that I want. So to make it look like it's old to begin with, if I wanted to make it look like a brand new building, I would spray it on and not brush it on, because you won't get the brush strokes and you won't get the the colors, the variations in the colors, or should I say. Like right here you can see, while it's still a little bit wet, and we'll take a look at it once it dries up, but you can see variations in it. And that's the look that I'm going for the sides. And I'll stick this right here. There it is. And we'll take a look at it once that dries. Right there. Okay. Now we're going to do the white. Okay. Now this board right here, this is the peel and stick, and that's what all our windows are on. So I'm going to use this spot right here to try out the whites on it. So this first one is the let me see, vintage white. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the edge over here, and you can see how it shows the brush strokes, but on the windows you're not going to see the brush stroke because the windows are so small, the window frames are so small, but it's going to show up like that. And this last one is the antique white. Okay, and so you can see how that looks right there. Those are the three colors for the windows and the other trim, and we'll just leave these here and let those dry and see what they look like when we're finished with it. And you could see the imperfections in there. You could see the different colors showing. You could see the primer showing through on that, and you could actually see the brush strokes on there. But for the windows are so small that you're not going to see any brush strokes on it. Let me pull out one of the window panels here. Okay, see right here, those windows are so small and so delicate that you're not really going to see anything, any brush strokes or anything, especially on the window panes. See right there? Maybe a little bit on these. This is the window seals right here. These go on there, and that's I think that's the threshold for the door. I think that goes on the bottom, and there's the door right there. Oh, this up here is the railing on the second floor. Okay, but anyway, that's how small the windows are. I just wanted you to see that. So let me move this stuff out of the way, and we're going to let that stuff dry, and we'll take a look at it once it's dry. So that's all our colors right there, and we're going to take a look at it. I'm going to wait about an hour, and then I'll see what it looks like once it's dry. While we were waiting for this to dry, we went to the Lions Club and got some gas and went to Home Depot. At the Lions Club I got another light with a flexible arm on it for $7. It's a heavy duty one with a fluorescent fixture in it, but I'm going to use that for my microphone. And I got some lumber for a project in the train room. But before we left, Debbie picked these colors here. This one right here, I got it marked with a little scrap piece of wood, and this one right here. So that's the ones that we're going to use. It's the sage green and the warm white. So warm white on the windows and sage green on the exterior walls of the building. Here's everything we're going to need. The 2 paint colors, some water, a little doohickey, whatever they call this thing here, and a paintbrush. And this is a Craft Smart. I think I got it either Michael's or Joann's or someplace, or Hobby Lobby, one of those stores. And a paper towel that's used. And that'll get us going with the painting. And the first thing I'm going to do is paint the side walls. So we'll put the white aside and we'll use the sage green. And this is a Craft Smart, and you can get that at your local shop, Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, what's that other one? AC Moore's. They all have them. Even Walmart has it, I think. I have to remember where to put stuff because I drew a line over on the edge, so I know how to keep things in the camera. So that's right at the edge right there. So I'm going to play around with this color, put some in here, and take some water. And some paints that you get like this are real thick and others are runny. You know, hit or miss, whatever color you're using, you just have to play around with it. So I'm going to try a little bit of this right where it's going to be covered up. And that looks pretty good. I'll just go all the way down. That looks like a good texture there. Get some of this off of here. I'll have to sand that down later on because that's where it'll be glued. But you get the gist of it here. We're just going to paint it on like this, and we might put a second coat on it. We don't know. We'll just see what happens with what we have here and see what it looks like. But what I want is I want to see some of the gray, because we're going to sand it down some to expose some of the gray, or even down to the wood finish in some parts to make it weathered, to make it look a lot older than what it really is. And I'll just show you this first piece here up until, you know, I get this, all parts of it painted, and then I won't make you watch me paint every panel on here. Even though I want to see some of the gray behind it, I want to get it mostly green with just a little bit of the gray showing through. And while that one's drying, I'll start on some of the other ones, but I'll turn the camera off so you don't have to watch me painting every single panel on here. I'll put this off to the side, and that was the one side of the building, and here's the opposite side of the building. Finished putting the paint on there and letting it dry now, so that's what it looks like now. And we'll see what it looks like when it's finished in about, or dry in about an hour or so. Alright, it's been a couple hours since I painted this, and this is pretty dry, but I'm going to let it set overnight. This was made for billboards, but I might put that on the back wall. And I have some of these other ones that I'm not sure where I got them, but they're a part of signs. I'm not sure who the manufacturer is. Let me see. There's some instructions in with it. It's easiest to get this one out here. And this might be the JL Innovations, I'm not sure. Can't be positive of that, but you end up getting two sides of it with signs on it. So I'm going to use some of these signs, and if I have any more room, then I'll go out and make a copy of the other signs there. I could always use them on another project. We're going to take this back wall and put this billboard on it. Okay, this was actually made for billboards. This is Shady Side Press, HO billboards and signs for the 40s and 50s. I'm going to do this second one here where the girl's in the boat, in a rowboat. And I'm going to put this on the back down here. And I was hoping that I had another long Coke bottle, but it looks like I already used it. I used that already, so I'm going to put one of these other ones over here up on the top. But we're going to do one today. I'm going to show you how to do it. And the next episode I'm going to devote entirely to the storefront. Because as you can see, every component on here is a peel and stick. You have and they're all different colors. You have the door and the windows up on the top. You got these windows here that are a different color. You got these columns here that are a different color. The brick and the concrete work up on the top and the bottom. So there's a lot of painting involved in the different pieces. So what I'm going to have to do is study this photograph right here, and then try to figure out what colors I want for that. But all of that is going to be in the next episode. We're going to finish out this episode here is putting this billboard on the back wall. Now there's other walls that we have, and let me show you. See, we have space for a sign right there and right there, maybe a little one right here also in the front on the second floor, and I think there's a side. Okay, here's the side. Now we have a lot of room on the one side over here, and that is this piece right here. So we have lots of room on that one to put a couple of signs on it. We could even probably put one over top of the loading dock door in the back. And they show a billboard right here that's not included, but we could even make one if we wanted to. We'll think about that at another time though. But let's concentrate on this right here. What I did off camera is switched blades. I took the old blade out of this one and discarded it in there. I took the blade off of here and put it right here. So this is a semi-sharp blade. And then the new blade is on here to cut the billboard out. So what we're going to do is take a straight edge and put it right on the line, and I'm going to put my blade right there. And what I did was I cut all that off the camera. I put a line on my cutting board so I could stay above it so it would be in camera view, and I just cut it off because that's probably the line right there or something like that. Here we go, like this. Yeah. But anyway, I missed it. Okay, on this side right here, and right here we're going to come right to the edge of the scenery right there. Okay. Alright, so there's the billboard. Okay. I never have too much luck with sanding down the back end of the this. I have 120 grit sandpaper, and I'm just going on the back of it just to make it a little bit thicker. I was thinking about getting 80-pound paper and having it print on there to see, not 80-pound paper, 18-pound paper. Instead of what they use here, this is probably 20 pound right here. Okay, but that looks like it's good right there. And I'm just going to mark it, if I could find my pencil. I'm just going to mark the clapboard. Make sure it's straight. Just to have a reference for the bottom of the billboard. So I have my 2 marks there, and when I put it down, I'll just put it down to match those marks, and I'll keep it as close to the side as I can so I can keep this part open right here. But what I'll do is take some of the tacky glue and just rub it on the back. Make sure I get it on, cover the whole thing, and it's going to curl up here a little bit. And before I turn it over, I'm going to have to wipe my fingers off to get the glue off of my fingers and off of the cutting board. Alright, so I'll just come over here and we'll set it down on that part right there. And kind of work it in with the fingers. And we're going to do it another way after this, and we get it started. Now we take the back of the paintbrush and on this clapboard just go down each one of these and press it in so it looks like it's actually painted or applied to the wood. Okay, I don't know if you could see it, but you could see the how it's in the grooves in the wood. That looks pretty good. You can see the lines in there, and I'm going to let this set for a while. Let the glue dry a little bit. Come along the top and the bottom here. Make sure that's in there really good. And once this dries, we're going to go over it a little bit more. What I'll do is I'll take just some steel wool real light here, and then over here I'll do some sandpaper on the edges to make the edges look like they're weathered and tattered. and torn. But here's what we got so far. Oops. And as I bring it up, you can see the little ridges in there. But there it is. And then we'll work on that a little bit more once the glue dries. What I wanted to show up closer is the billboard. Okay, and you can see how I used the back of this paintbrush here, and it acts like a burnishing tool. And you just go and follow each one of the lines on the clapboard, and you can see how it is like that. And we'll get that shine off of there. We don't want it too shiny, but I just wanted to show you a close-up of it here, and you could see how you could see all the lines of the wood all the way through the billboard. What you see here is 4/0 steel wool, and I'm going to take some of this and just go over the printed surface, and what that's going to do is going to bring out the raised lines in it, so you can see. I'll do it a little bit more up here where the coat is. And a little bit down on the bottom too. Now this is going to be old, but not so old that the sign is unreadable. It's just going to be, you can see it like that. You can see all the lines in there where it's raised. And I'm going to do a little bit of it on the wood also over here on this side underneath. And the reason I'm using 4/0 so I don't take off too much at one time. I don't want to use sandpaper, and I don't want to use a more coarse steel wool on it. 4/0 is about, well, where I'm at, it's the finest that you can get. And I'm sure there's probably places where you can get something finer than that, but as far as Home Depot goes in this area, that's about as good as you can get it, or as fine as you can get it, 4/0. So we'll just take a little bit more over here on the edges. And what we may do is just try to dig into it a little bit. More or less scrape it some with the good blade. Use this blade right here. And what I'm doing is I'm just scraping the blade along the edge just to make it a little bit rough, and then I'll go over it with the steel wool. Okay. There we go. Now we may do a little bit more weathering after I get the other signs on there, but as far as this episode goes, this is as far as we're going to go. I showed you how to put this on here and weather it somewhat. I'm going to put some more on off camera so you don't have to watch me doing all of them, but I'll show you how, once we get all the panels together, I'll show you how to weather everything. And let me get out this one, the storefront here. Okay, in the next episode, we're going to determine what color to put as the background color for this, because as you can see, we'll line this is the door right here. Okay, we'll look at this one column right here. Okay, you have this right here, but this right here is the base color of this, because these are the pieces that go right there, and they have a little slot where you could see down through them. And also there's a little piece that goes on the bottom. So all of these right here are going to be one color. This is the brick. This is going to be another color. Okay, and what else do we have here? We're going to have to paint this. These are the doors right here, so nothing goes over top of that. And normally they would have something that would go over top of these, but to highlight these little squares right here, but it seems like they don't have it. See that? That's these doors right here. So we're going to have to do this in different colors. We're going to have to put, this is the doors, and then we're going to have to put another color underneath here, or we could keep it the same color as the door. Now this right here is going to have to be painted something different. Okay. But what it does is makes it look like this is raised, but there's no raised part that we could put over top of those that I could see on the peel and stick. So this is something that I'm going to have to study for a little bit, and this is going to take up an entire episode of just doing the storefront. So look for that in the next episode of the Gravely Building. That was a lot of work, and remember, this is the next episode coming up, working on this part right here. Remember, there's over 20 pieces that are going to be placed on this little storefront right here. So that's going to take an entire episode by itself. And if you would like to see more like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You know why? Because it's free. It's absolutely free to click on that little button. It doesn't cost you a thing. And while you're at it, hit that bell right next to it. That'll inform you whenever I have a new video coming out. Go ahead and check my website. I put some links on there for track planning, and I'm going to put some more links on there for other railroad-related items. So take a look at that. Also, support this channel and this website through the Amazon link that's on there. And if you would like to make a website for yourself, I have one for 1-in-1. And TubeBuddy is a great product to use to advance your SEO score and get your videos out there. I have a link for that also on there. I also have a link for everything in the description also. So go ahead and check out my website. Also, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Also, my PayPal me. It costs money to do this stuff. So help support this channel by either going on my PayPal Me account and doing a donation there, or going on my website and clicking on the Amazon link and buy something through there. The links for TubeBuddy and Amazon and One-on-One are affiliate links, and if you purchase anything on there, I get a little bit of cut out of there. I have to let you know that. So, for the past year, I've been picking up things like this, track lighting, at the thrift stores, and I think I have enough to put up above so I could light up my layout back there, and I could light up this area right here. So I got enough. I bought the lumber the other day and got these, and what else did I get? That's about it. Oh, I bought some light bulbs, LED daylight light bulbs. Work great. That's what I use to light up this place right here right now. And so these lights here are going to serve two purposes. One, for the layout, and two, to light me up right here. It's going to be add additional lighting over here, and it might even shine on my head right here, okay? They tell you to, put a light on the top of your head so it separates you from the background. So I think I'll do that too. So remember, leave a comment, visit my website, support this channel, support this website, and we'll have some more videos coming out of the Gravely building, me doing that, and Debbie got me a green screen, so I'm going to be doing something on that, showing you how to use it, and she got it through Amazon, and you could also do that with Amazon by clicking on the link on my webpage. So, don't forget, right here and right here, subscribe, webpage, and videos here. And we'll see you.